Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and as usual, we have a bunch of stuff regarding to Real Madrid, a bunch of good news regarding to Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and more stuff to talk about. I mean, as you know, this is pretty obvious as we are approaching to the next transfer window market, the winter market, January market, whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty normal to receive a lot of different rumors and news and stuff and speculations regarding to transfers, signings, and people leaving, players arriving, and all the stuff. So, but the most important today, it is, of course, I will be talking about Erling Haaland, I will be talking about Kylian Mbappe and all the stuff, but also I wanted to talk to you all about something that came out yesterday regarding to Frenkie de Jong, but not many people out there heard about that. So I will be addressing that information and what is my opinion, what is my take on the thing. But let me get started off with something really, I mean, it's even more important, and this is big deal. Marcelo and Luka Modric tested positive in COVID-19 today, right? So what does that mean for Real Madrid? Okay, as far as Marcelo, I would say it's not big deal, right? As Marcelo has barely played during the season, so it is not normally in the plans of Carlo Ancelotti to be in the lineup and all the stuff, so it's not big deal. Of course, though I wish him a very speedy recovery and all the stuff, but it's not big deal in terms of players that have to be available over and over again for the for the different games that we have every single weekend or even every 2-3 days, right? And as far as Luka Modric, is a completely different story. When Luka Modric won't be able to make it against whoever it is, Cadiz, Athletic de Bilbao, Atletico de Madrid, Real Sociedad, whoever it is big deal. Because right now, Luka Modric is arguably one of the most important, one of the most outstanding players in Real Madrid, right? So every time you don't have to Luka Modric in the lineup of Real Madrid, it is like, man, this gotta be a problem, right? Because in somehow you're losing the brain of Real Madrid. You're losing the brain. You're losing the boss of the midfield of Real Madrid. And the way he was playing over the last months, man, it was so amazing that nobody knew. Nobody wanted to imagine playing without Luka Modric, right? But now we have to get used to it. And as he gets older, we have to get even more used to it because it's gotta be pretty normal every once in a while not to be able to count on Luka Modric because he might be injured, he might be tired, he might be resting or something like that, right? So, I mean, it's a kind of wake-up call so you don't, how would I say this? You can't rely too much on a single player, right? But it's okay. I mean, we have to make it. We have to go through it. And of course, we have to survive, right? I mean, I don't know how many days he will be off. Maybe until he tests negative again. And that'd be probably, I don't know, maybe 15 days or something like that. I don't know. Maybe 15 days, maybe 1 week. Honestly, I can't tell you right now how long is he going to be out, as I don't know how long is in Spain the quarantine and all the stuff after you test negative, right? But the big thing here is Marcelo and especially Luka Modric won't be able to make it for the next game against Cadiz. So now let's move on and let's talk about Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong, the reason why I'm talking about the FC Barcelona player is pretty much because yesterday, Frenkie de Jong's father said something really controversial as he mentioned the 5 biggest clubs in Europe have made the call asking for the situation of Frenkie de Jong in FC Barcelona. As you know, over the last 2 years that Frenkie de Jong has been in FC Barcelona, it hasn't been great as he hasn't, or this is just my opinion, he failed to show everybody the great player he is. But it's not because of him. It's not just because of him. Of course, he is the result as well. It is the main consequence of it. I mean, the whole team and the circumstances around that team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he probably arrived in the worst moment of FC Barcelona, maybe in the decay of FC Barcelona in the last 2 years. The last year with Ernesto Valverde as a coach, and then the next one and the next year with Ronald Koeman and Quique Setién. And he couldn't really, I mean, he wasn't able to show everybody he's a great player, that I think he is. But in my opinion, he was another victim of this weird, strange circumstances that have been surrounding FC Barcelona over the last 2 years, right? So what the father said is the 5 biggest clubs right now have shown some interest in my son, which means Real Madrid, I mean, I'm assuming Real Madrid is within those 5 big clubs of Europe, because I mean, who else, right? Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City, Real Madrid, and all the stuff, right? And, okay, let me tell you what. Although I think that Real Madrid has to monitor and scan these kind of players in these kind of situations, I don't really think Real Madrid is really interested in Frenkie de Jong, as we have players enough in the midfield right now. I mean, as you know, the situation of the midfield in Real Madrid is pretty specific, as we have to Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and Casemiro. And every time you have available these 3 players, there's no way for any other player to be there, right? Including Fede Valverde, Camavinga, Ceballos, and other midfielders like Antonio Blanco and stuff like that. But if we can count on Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, like this weekend, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, or Casemiro, you still have a bunch of very good players that can do a very good job and succeed. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Fede Valverde. I'm talking about Eduardo Camavinga, Ceballos, Antonio Blanco, and others, right? So, although I think he's a very good player, and even if he, I don't know, if his agent throws on the table a very good price, I mean, if he, I don't know how much that would be, maybe 40 million, 50 million, I don't know. But if they throw on the table a very good offer, or a very good possibility, or a very reasonable market price, maybe you can go ahead and try to sign him, right? But other than that, man, I don't think Real Madrid is in really need of a player like Frenkie de Jong. But let's see what happens. I mean, my opinion is Real Madrid is not 100% all in interested in Frenkie de Jong, but let's see what happens. So now let's move on and let's keep talking about Erling Haaland, because apparently, according to Ivan Martin, and you know, this journalist has a very good information. He was one of the first journalists releasing the news regarding to David Alaba last year. So he has very good sources of information. So to me, it's a very reliable journalist. So every time he releases something new, I try to echo it as I think it's important, right? So the latest news that we have from Ivan Martin is pretty much Haaland is insisting to his agent, Raiola. I mean, Raiola and his circus. What Raiola has built up is pretty much a circus, and every time he goes out in public and he has a camera in front of him, he always tries to call the attention of everybody in the market, right? Like the other day in front of the camera, mentioning every single team might be willing to sign Erling Haaland. And he said Bayern Munich, FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, and PSG, I think, or any other, whatever. So he's pretty much playing with everybody. He's playing actually everybody, and he knows that. But that is the way he does the deals, right? That is his way. It's his own style. It's very weird. It's strange. It's sometimes annoying. But that is the way every time you deal with Mino Raiola. Well, apparently, according to Ivan Martin, Erling Haaland is so sick and tired of this kind of weird strategy that apparently has said and has told, actually, has commanded Mino Raiola to take him to Real Madrid, and that's it. The main goal of Erling Haaland so far is to play for Real Madrid, and that's it. He doesn't want to consider any other option. And that is something, this information is matching the information from Mario Cortegana and Ciro Lopez and others, right? So to me, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So I don't know, of course, what is going to happen at the end. Maybe Mino Raiola just is looking for his super insane commission, right? And that is the only thing, that is the only reason he's worrying about. But for the player, as far as the player, I would say Erling Haaland wants to play for Real Madrid, and that's it. So let's see what happens. But this is the information from Eva Martin that you can read here in this article in OK Diario. It's pretty much what I said. And now let's move on. Let's keep talking about, in this case, Adeyemi. Adeyemi, as you know, is a very promising and, it's a kind of rising star in Germany. And is a very promising player, super young player, 19 years old. He has scored, I think it's like 10 to 15 goals or something like that in Salzburg. And he's crushing it. He's doing a great job, right? Fantastic job, right? Well, the other day we were told the player apparently will replace Erling Haaland in Borussia Dortmund, right? But the problem here is the player, right after those news came out and were public, he said, I have nothing with any other than Salzburg. I have nothing, any kind of done deal or something like that. I have nothing. He denied the rumors, right? But that is pretty normal. What you are supposed to say in this kind of situations in the middle of the season is not confirm that you will play for another team. You have to confirm you have super committed with your team and you don't want to think about any other stuff, right? So that is pretty much what you have to say, what you are supposed to say, right? So that being said, what happened today is his agent, Thomas Salomon, denied the rumors for the player to play in Real Madrid, which is, of course, is not bad news, it's actually good news, because that way we can confirm he will play for Borussia Dortmund and Erling Haaland will quit, will get out of Borussia Dortmund, and probably he'll play for Real Madrid. So that is the thing, right? So that is the thing. That's why to me it's very important, and of course it's very good news, because this way you know there are more chances than ever before to see Erling Haaland to playing for Real Madrid, right? So that is a very, very good news. And now let me go ahead and tell you all the last story, which is pretty much the article that came out from Equipe yesterday, because they're not, man, they're not hiding anything else. It's pretty much impossible for anybody in the world to think Kylian Mbappe will continue in Paris Saint-Germain, and there's no way for anybody in this world to think he won't play for another team that is not Real Madrid, right? It is pretty much impossible. So, L'Equipe finally is in somehow confirming the signing of Kylian Mbappe for Real Madrid. After the soap opera, quote here, after the soap opera of the last summer, it seems that we are going to a free exit to the capital of Spain, of Madrid. His destination is out of doubt, Real Madrid. Meanwhile, still some months left, right? So the superheroes, the super big names of Paris Saint-Germain bride in Paris and wrap this whole thing up in their own style. No regrets, no crying, no baby cries, no stuff like that. They have to do the job, they have to get the job done in the best way possible, and then say bye-bye to Kylian Mbappe, because there's no doubt Kylian Mbappe will play for Real Madrid, as you can see right here. It's not something that I'm inventing or something like that, right? So, when L'Equipe, arguably the most important source of information alongside Le Parisien regarding to all the things regarding to Paris Saint-Germain and all the stuff, is claiming that this is pretty much a done deal. There's nothing left. there's nothing left for us to confirm he will play for Real Madrid. I mean, that is my opinion, right? I don't know what you guys think about that, but to me, it's pretty clear right now. So there's no other possibility, there's no other rumor, there's no other speculation. I mean, I would say the best proof that Kylian Mbappe will play for Real Madrid and any other, even the Premier League teams, haven't been engaged already in the transfer of Kylian Mbappe. It is because of that, because they know Kylian Mbappe is done for Real Madrid. It's done deal for Real Madrid. I mean, if you think about it, every time there is a very good player, very big name or something pops up, you have like 4 different countries, 4 different or much more or way more teams from different countries trying to, follow up with the player and chasing him and monitoring and scanning the situation. But in this case of Kylian Mbappe, there's anybody else. It's just Real Madrid, right? If you notice it, it's because there are so many chances, many more chances for Real Madrid to sign in Kylian Mbappe than for any other in the world. So now, guys, this is what I have for you all guys today. And now comment in the section below, of course, and subscribe my channel, Real Madrid Hub.